Hey YouTube! So finally, we are back with the season premiere of The Haves and the Have-Nots. This is season 5, episode 1, A Cup of Tea. And that is literally and figuratively, but we shall get to that. Okay, so the episode, I was so excited because it started off where it left off, just like I like it. Last season ended with Kathryn Pryor pulling out her crazy. So she brings Jennifer, the DA, over to the house, and Veronica is there as well. She asked Jennifer, I'm gonna ask you one more time, let me have my son's inheritance back because he can't handle that. Like, he'll kill himself. She's like, nope, I can't do that. So then all of a sudden, Veronica's like, okay, bam, 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 bam. I'm gonna make sure you're dead. Okay, so she shot her, blood all over everywhere, just like leaned back, like there's no coming back from that. What I loved about this is that Veronica was spooked. So now, starting with tonight's episode, we see Veronica is shook. Kathryn shot her, place the gun down right by Veronica, which is like a mind game at that. Like, are you gonna shoot me? Because I know you gonna shoot. You ain't gonna shoot me because you see how crazy I am. Turns around and walks slowly upstairs. Even fixes the plant on her way upstairs as if nothing happened. So Veronica is like, this. I mean, I thought I was the ice queen. I thought I was crazy, but this woman is really like mental. Like, she has snapped. This is a different person. I need to get out of this house. So she's like searching through her purse, searching through her purse. No phone. She keep looking. I'm like, girl, your purse is this big. Like, it's not in there. And then she's like, oh, it's in the car. Okay, how am I going to get out of this? How am I going to get out of this? And I was quite shocked that she was searching for a phone because I'm thinking, Veronica, you of all people are going to call the police. Like, we know that you don't walk the straight and narrow path. So now you're nervous, you're shook, so you're looking for a phone. Okay, so she's looking for a way out the house. Can't get out the front door. Let's go to the back door. Dang, locked in here. Can't get out the back door either. So to her, this is like a scary movie at this point. She even goes as far as to try to get the house phone, Kathryn's house phone, to call the police on Kathryn. Well, Kathryn already has all this under control. She cut the phones off. Then Kathryn, all of a sudden, Kathryn is standing on the steps, like looking at her like a freaking like possessed woman, and she's like, are you trying to call someone? Are you going somewhere? And then she said, yeah, the phone isn't working. And she was like, maybe the phones were cut off, or maybe somebody yanked the cord out the wall. I don't know. And she's like getting close to her. Veronica is still shook. Mind you, I love seeing Veronica like this because she's so freaking evil. She needs to be put in her place. So whatever the case, then she says, you know what? Why would you call the police? And she says, well, Kathryn, from what I saw, she said, what did you see? She said, Jennifer. She said, Jennifer who? I don't know, no Jennifer. Then she was like, Jennifer Salison, I think that's her name, the DA. She was like, well, I didn't see anything. And she's like, well, we have to call the police. She said, now you're trying to get religion and go straight on me? Like, now you're calling the police? If this is the same person I know, you done gotten so many people off. You done won every case, and you didn't win it fair and square, okay? You play dirty. You have thugs. You tamper with evidence. You do what you have to do to make your client win the case. So with that being said, no, you're not calling the police. And then Veronica's like, well, I have people that I need to call. I have people that can clean this up. They can wipe the place clean, but my phone's in my car. You need to let me outside to go get it. And what's her face? Kathryn is like, how can I trust you? How do I know that you're not just going to flip on me? And she said, I'm not. As your attorney, as your lawyer. She said, oh, so you remember you're my attorney, right? Right. As your attorney, your lawyer, I'm not obligated to tell anybody this information, not even the police. I promise you, I just need to get this straightened out sooner than later. I'll make it so that you didn't even see Jennifer today. I'll make it so that her body is somewhere else. Please, I just need to go out to my car. She said, so how are you going to get me off from this one? She said, we will come up with a way, but right now I have to get her out. Well, at this point, I'm not really believing Veronica either because you're spooked. Like, clearly you're scared, but you're not that scared because every now and then she will still get smart with Kathryn. She said, like, oh, well, I saw a murder committed in the front room. And Kathryn was like, I didn't see no murder. I don't know what you're talking about. And then so she's like, okay, I promise you. I understand. I will straighten all of this out. Everything will be fine. I just need to get to my car. So Kathryn says, you want some tea? And she's like, no, no, thank you. I just need to get to my car. And she said, are you sure? She said, I'm fine. And she said, okay, well, check this out. This is what we're going to do. I'm going to drink my tea. And after I drink my tea, then you can go outside. Then Veronica says, well, but I need to. She said, look, I'm drinking the tea. You're going to wait. You can sit down. She said, I don't want to sit down. You can sit down. I'm fine standing. Okay. Have it your way. You can stand up, but it may take a while. I'm going to finish my tea. Okay. And then she says, you know what? I don't understand why you're playing this game with me. I don't understand why you did that to my son, why you put a rapist and a murderer in the cell with my son. She said, I was trying to help. Wyatt was out of control. He was going to go to the DA. He was going to turn us all in. I didn't intend to hurt him. I'm like, girl, lies. Like, but then again, Kathryn is crazy right now. She really could plead insanity. So you might not want to say too much because Kathryn might for real kill you. So she's like, you know what? Take a seat. Then she pulls a knife out of the drawer, a gigantic knife to scare her. Then walks over, holding the knife straight up like a killer, walks over to the refrigerator, gets the orange out, and then proceeds to dice the orange all extra hard. Like, you didn't need a knife that big, but I understand. So at this point, Veronica is still spooked. She like, I can't make no sudden moves, whatever. This lady is cuckoo. Okay, so then finally, the next thing, all of a sudden, we see Candace and we see Oscar at the campaign office. Now, remember last season where they left off, she set him up some type of way to come to the campaign office, and then when he walks in, she gets a crowbar and hits him over the head, and he's knocked out. So, bam, new season. Press play. She is beating the mess out of him. She's like, where's my money? I want my money. I can't believe you played me. I can't believe you marked me. I need my money. And he's like, Candace, calm down. She's like, where's my money? He's like, I don't have it. It's spent. She's like, wrong answer. Bam, keeps hitting him. She's like, I need my money now. Now remember, she has to have $2 million to the banker by 5 o'clock the next day or something, or else she's gonna lose all her properties, which that includes the tow yard and Benny's house. So she's really trying to get this money back. The banker found out that she forged Benny's signature, so that is why she is like in a rush to get this money. So Oscar's like, I really don't have it. She said, who are you working for? I can't tell you that. Who were you working for? She said, was it Jim Pryor or was it David Harrington? I'm going to bet you it was David Harrington. Tell me who you're working for. Bam, bam, bam. She keeps hitting him. He keeps trying to stop her. Candace, let me talk to you. Okay, we can get this all worked out. Please, 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 please. And then finally, at some point, he gets a hold of the crowbar. They're wrestling around. And of course, he is stronger than her, so at some point he's on top of her and he pins her down to the ground. So at this point, she's like, dude, just kill me. I don't even care. I'm having a horrible day. My life is going down the drain right now. Just kill me. I don't care. Then he said, Candace, I'm not going to kill you. And in the midst of all this rolling around, she had asked him his real name, and he said his real name was Bryan. Okay, so now we're off of Oscar. Now I'm Bryan. And he said, I was hired. This is what I do. I mark people, but I can help you get your money back if you just work with me. Okay. You're good. You're really good. And I'm working on a guy right now because I do asset recovery. So I help people get their money back the legit way. And nobody's going to be coming after you. So I have this big case that I'm working on, this big mark, but the only thing is I'm not going to be able to get to him because I'm a man. I need a woman with a woman's touch with the skills that you have. So if you could just work with me and you can get, I mean, $4 million, that's nothing. You can get hundreds of millions of dollars. Just work with me. She's like, you expect me to believe you? Like, you marked me. I don't care if $2 million isn't a lot to you. My life depends on it right now. I need that money. And then he said, okay, but if you work with me, you can get that plus more. I mean, you could be working with the big timers here. You could tell she's thinking about it a little, but she's like, you know what? In order for me to trust you, you're going to have to give me $2 million right now. Of course, we know she needs that right now. So he's like, I can't do that. She's like, you mean to tell me you don't have $2 million? No, I really don't. She's like, you know what? I'm out of here. I'm done with this. I don't care. I'm not dealing with you. Walks out. Okay, so I'm sure that she'll revisit his proposition soon at some point during the season. Okay, so now we go to the hospital. Now, at the hospital last season, it left off with Jeffrey in the room with Wyatt. Wyatt was still like unconscious, he hadn't woken up yet. And um, Jeffrey was telling Wyatt, I'm sorry for what my mom had that guy come in the cell and do to you. I'm so sorry. Okay, and that's how Kathryn found out, and that's why she flipped on Veronica. Okay, so whatever the case, now he's in the hospital room, still watching over Wyatt, and Brandon, the police officer, calls him. Now, mind you, last season, Jeffrey told Brandon, hey, okay, if you guys are searching the house, make sure that you go to the backyard and you find what's in the backyard first, okay? I don't need anybody else to find it. You have to find it. Keep everyone else away from it. So he's like, okay. So Brandon calls him back in this week's episode, and he's like, Jeffrey, I can't stop them from going in the backyard. I tried. Now tell me, what is in the backyard? What is it that they're going to find? You have to tell me in order for me to help you. So he's like, okay, whatever. It is what it is. They're going to find a body. He's like, a body? And he's like, yes. And he said, whose body? He said, Quincy. Quincy who? Quincy Maxwell. Oh my gosh. He was like, Jeffrey, why didn't you tell me this? And Jeffrey is like, look, I didn't really know if I could trust you like that. Like, you already on the down low. Like, you kind of live in two separate lives. And I didn't know which Brandon I was dealing with that day. Like, the Brandon that's going to be a police officer and turn me in, or the Brandon that's my boo on the side that's going to have my back. Okay, so whatever the case, he's like, you know what? Okay, I can try, but you know they're gonna find that, especially if they have a big mud pile in the backyard. They're gonna find that body. I can try to hold them off and keep them in the house. How did this even happen? What did you have to do with this? Jeffrey said, I stabbed him. He said, you did it just by yourself. Me and Candace, we stabbed him over and over. He died. Candace got rid of the body, disposed of it in the backyard, and that's what happened. So he's like, Brandon is stressing out, like, oh my gosh, my boo is about to be in jail. I wish you would have told me. I mean, we could have burnt down the house by now. I'm like, we could have got rid of this. But whatever the case, Jeffrey couldn't take any chances. So then he says, okay, I'll call you back. So Jeffrey gets off the phone with him, and then all of a sudden Wyatt out of nowhere is like, who'd you kill? So Jeffrey is like elated at this point. It goes from worried, frightened, afraid, oh my gosh, I want to go to jail, to, oh my gosh, Wyatt, you're awake. Like, wow. And so Wyatt's like, yeah, bro, who did you kill? I'm like, he's like, that's not important right now. I don't know what you overheard on the phone, but you need to calm down. Okay, I'm glad you're doing good. And Wyatt is like, I gotta get out this bed. Where in the world am I? Jeffrey is like, look, you're in the hospital. You overdosed. We all thought you were dead, okay? You really need to calm down, okay? I'll get the doctors. Wyatt is like, what? I overdosed. You thought I was dead? Man, I guess I didn't take enough. I'll take more next time. And he's like, no, I'm just joking. And then Jeffrey's like, no, the sad part is that you're really not joking. Like, quit playing with Jeffrey's emotions like that, okay? Jeffrey has been worried to death about you, okay, Wyatt? Okay, so whatever the case, he's like, I'm gonna get the doctors. Don't worry about it, please. Just calm down. Okay, next thing. Now we have Benny, and we have First Lady of the Motherboard, Hannah. Okay, so Hannah, they're in the house, in Benny's house, sitting at the table with like coffee or something, looking stressed out, waiting for the people to come and repossess their house, basically. And they're like, you know what? There's nothing we can do. And Benny is like, you too calm. Like, aren't you supposed to be mad? Aren't you supposed to be going off about Candace or something? And then she's like, no, for what? I told you a million times about your sister. You didn't want to listen to me. He was like, well, that's my sister. Like, I wanted to have some faith in my sister. And then Hannah said, when has she ever said that she was going to do something and then she actually did it? He said, well, when she mortgaged the house, she said she was going to pay me the money back and pay it off, and she paid it off. And then she said, yeah, but with dirty money. And she said, but still, she paid it off. Okay, so she's like, you know what? One day you'll learn when it comes to your sister. Until then, I guess I better start packing the little bit of clothes that I have left. I mean, Hannah plays this pity party for real. But she's like, I have to start packing the little bit of clothes that I have left so that they don't take those when they come and take the house. And I got $300 to my name, something like that. And we can just go stay in a hotel for a couple days. He was like, Mom, please. She was like, look, we gotta look at the reality of the situation, okay? It's not like we can go stay in a five-star hotel or go like buy a house tomorrow. So with the money we got left, this is what we could do until we can figure something out. So she's like, the baby is upstairs. I'm gonna have to go check on him, whatever. Okay, so then all of a sudden the doorbell rings, and she's like, oh, it's probably the people to come and take the house. He's like, no, chill out. They're not coming until 5 o'clock tomorrow. Okay, so he goes and opens the door. It's Candace. And so, of course, he looks disappointed. And she's like, look, Benny, I tried. I really tried to talk to the banker and convince him to change his mind. It wouldn't work. I've been trying to get the money. I can't get the money, but I will figure something out. This is what I'm going to do. I'm going to go and I'm going to turn myself in. If I turn myself in, I should be able to buy some time with him, convince him to just hold off a little bit on trying to take the house. And then hopefully all is forgiven. And then and like then all of a sudden she sees Hannah and she's like, oh God. Hannah's like, turn yourself in for what? She said, Candace said, you know what? I'm not doing this right now. She said, no, turn yourself in for what? We are doing this right now. And then so she says, you know what? She said, go ahead, tell me. So Benny says, well, she forged my name on some loan documents, so that is why she would be turning herself in. But Candace, you're not turning yourself in. I will figure this out. We'll be fine. And then Hannah's like, no, let her turn herself in. Like, how is she going to ever learn? If she don't go to jail for this, she going to go to jail for Quincy. So Candace and Benny is looking like, girl, what you know? Like, because we all involved in this. And then she was like, I talked to your next door neighbor. Your next door neighbor said that he went in the house and she never saw him come out. And they was like, you know what? We're not doing this right now. And then she said, I'm gonna just go turn myself in, okay? If I have to do the time, I have to do the time. I'll make that sacrifice for you, Benny. Benny is like, look, you're not turning yourself in. Don't do it. Don't worry about it. We will get this figured out. And then so Hannah's like, what? You think you're gonna go sleep with the banker so that you can try to keep the house? And then so Candace is like, oh yeah, you're right. I'm gonna sleep with him, or if I can't convince him, I'll go find another banker in there and I'll sleep with all of them. Or hey, maybe they wives want to do a little something too. So Hannah's like, this is not funny. She said, look, don't worry about it. I have it under control. This is Candace speaking. Just don't worry about it. And Benny's like, you're not turning yourself in, so chill out. Okay, so then all of a sudden we have David Harrington. David Harrington is in the Sarandon Hotel like he always is, and he's talking to like a young black um, candidate. I think he's a senator that he's running for president. And I don't remember what his name was, but he has a smooth, suave look like an even younger Obama when Obama was running for president. And apparently he's 4 weeks out from election. His polls are doing great. It's looking promising. Now, he has a tight relationship with David. He was like, I'm sorry, basically, I couldn't call you or put you on the ticket. And David is like, look, I understand. I got too much heat around me right now. I know you're going to win. You're going to do great. I wouldn't have expected you to call me. It's not even a good look for you to be talking to me right now. So I completely understand. He's like, thank you so much. Thank you for understanding. He was like, you'll do great. We'll reconnect. Okay, so then all of a sudden, David goes back over to the bar. At the bar, he has his new little young hot tenderoni sitting with him, which is Candace's friend Erica. And so you could tell like they're on like a date of some sort, and she's like, "Oh my gosh, were you just talking to the guy that's running for president?" And he's like, "Yeah." She said, "How do you know him?" "Oh, well, we ran for Senate at the same time a while back, and he's really good. He's probably gonna win." She said, "Oh, I think so." So all of a sudden, David's phone rings. He's accepting a collect call from the jail, which is Jim. So Jim standing there looking stressed out. He's like, David, I'm still in jail. You were supposed to get me out. And David was like, look, you just have to apologize to the judge. I spoke with the judge. The judge wants an apology, and that's your way out of jail. And then he said, I'm not apologizing to that judge. He said, look, you have no choice or you're not going to get out. Just apologize. Then he gets off the phone. Okay, so then he continues back on with his date. Now, flip back to the last scene of this episode, which would be Veronica and Kathryn. Okay, so we got crazy and crazier. Okay, now Kathryn is still slowly drinking her tea, and Veronica is like, "Why are you taking so long? Like, I really need to go and get my phone out of my car to fix this situation." And so Kathryn says, "You know what? I'm gonna take as long as I please. I'm not done yet. I told you it was gonna be a while. I told you to take a seat." And then she said, okay, Kathryn, I had the best intentions for Wyatt. I love Wyatt. I would have never hurt Wyatt. She said, you're lying. You shouldn't have put him in the cell with that murderer in the cell with my son. Okay? Now, let's sit here. Let's talk about you for a little while. Let's get a cup of tea. Let's spill some tea. So she's like, oh, little old Veronica. Veronica, girl from the projects, really grew up with nothing. Your mother was, I think she said was the mother a whore? It was something about the mother. She was a whore or something, and the daddy was like a ladies' man or something. He was all over the place. She said, your daddy and Jim have a lot in common. Okay. Then she says, actually, you have a lot in common with them as well. Young girl from the projects trying to come up in the world. You want to get into law school, so you had to do what you had to do with my father so that he could get you into law school, which that had to be disgusting because he was old and wrinkled by that point. But I guess you had to do what you had to do, huh? And I'm thinking, oh, she's like a young Candace in a sense. Okay. So she's like, you've conned a lot of people. Actually, on paper, you're worth $25 million, which is interesting because you have so many different mortgages that are actually put you in debt $29 million. So you're actually negative, and you make payments on these things all the time. So I have no idea how you're going to get out of this situation. You're going to need something good to happen for you here real soon. So Veronica's like, you know what, Kathryn, I have to get out of this house. I have to go. I have to take care of this business. And then she's like, you know what? I'm not letting you out of here. I should just kill you myself. And she has the knife in her hand. She's like, please, please, Kathryn, you don't want to do this. Please, let's just talk about it. Kathryn is walking towards her slowly with this huge knife. She's like, please, 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 let's just talk this out. You don't want to do this. She said, oh, no, yes, yes, I do. Okay. Because the more I'm sitting in this house with you, I'm going stir crazy and I'm going to kill you. You deserve to die right along with Jennifer. Okay, so I'm gonna kill you. She's like, please, please don't make me defend myself. And she's like, nope, gonna kill you. And then next thing you know, we see her slash Veronica. I don't know if it's her arm, her shoulder, whatever the case. She got her good because Veronica is like, girl, are you crazy? Next thing you know, they are tussling back and forth. And of course, then the episode ends. So this was an intense first start to an episode. I don't know what's going to happen with their characters. Clearly, we've seen the preview, so it's not like she's going to kill Veronica. But she's about to be following her around the house like a mad woman. Kathryn can't die at this point because I'm living for this crazy Kathryn. Anywho, oh, at one point, Candace drives slowly past her house because she sees the police. At this point, she hasn't talked to Jeffrey, so she didn't realize they were searching her house. So she continues to drive by as to not be caught. So we shall see what happens with that. Anywho, as always, like, comment, and subscribe. Check me out at mrsblogaholic.com. Bye.